Hi investors. As we discussed about ROC and ROE in our last sessions, it's important to know about WACC, WACC, that is the weighted average cost of capital. WACC is the calculation of a firm's cost of capital in which each category of capital is proportionally weighted. All sources including common stock, preferred stock, bonds, and any other long-term debts are included in WACC calculation. The cost of capital is the expected return to equity owners or shareholders and to the debt holders. The debt holders are basically the lenders for the company. So WACC tells us the return that both stakeholders can expect. WACC represents the company's or the investor's opportunity cost of taking on the risk of putting money into a company. An increase in WACC denotes an increase in valuation and an increase in risk. This WACC is used as a discount rate for the future cash flows in DCF model analysis for deriving the net present value of the future cash flow as mentioned in my earlier session. That is again for finding out the intrinsic value based on DCF model. We will learn about the model of DCF in future sessions for sure once you gradually proceed further stage-wise solidifying each of the concepts in value investing. On the screen you can see the formula for WACC. So all the equations are very well tabulated there with what the legend stands for or what the equations stand for, like E for shareholders equity, D for debt, likewise. So if you can see there that the WACC accounts for both the cost of equity and the cost of debt. So by taking the weighted average in this way, we can determine how much interest a company owes for each dollar or rupee it finances. As you know, debt and equity are two components that constitute a company's capital funding. Lenders and equity holders will expect to receive certain returns on the funds or capital they have provided to the company for its growth. WACC then indicates the return that both stakeholders, that is the equity owner and lenders, can expect to receive. Or in other words, WACC is the investor's opportunity cost of taking on the risk of investing money in a company as explained earlier, and that ideally for a long-term positive return, the ROCE, the return on capital employed, shall be more than WACC to justify the investment rationale in that company. Why? Because WACC, as we told, it is the cost, it accounts for the cost of equity and the cost of debt. So ROCE again accounts for the return the company gets with respect to the equity and the debt the company has. So both of them are, that is why I am not using ROE, just a return on equity here. That is why I am comparing ROCE with WACC. So for an investor to ideally measure or gauge the returns he is getting, so he should first understand the cost of his capital with respect to the equity and the debt, and then again gauge the returns the company is generating against the equity and debt, which is ROCE, and this returns of which is nothing but the ROCE shall be always more than WACC for a company to generate good profits and to fetch a good returns for the investor. A firm's WACC is the overall required return for that firm. You have to be very clear on the concept of WACC and understand its importance. As I mentioned, WACC is used as a discount rate for our calculation of intrinsic value while determining the present value of future earnings or the future cash flow or even the future dividends, depending on which model is utilized for your intrinsic value calculation. This discount rate will be company's company specific as it's related to how the company gets its fund. It can be either through a debt or through an equity. It is the rate of return that stakeholders expect over the shareholders' equity or the cost of borrowing money, which is the interest on debt or loan, or a combination of both that is duly accounted by WACC. So that would be the discount rate to be applied so that the exact cost of capital is accounted in your intrinsic value calculation. As I promised, I will definitely teach you to compute the intrinsic value later with proper examples of various companies as I gradually walk you through all the concepts prior to that, because intrinsic value is you can call as a sort of final destination for a value investor, wherein you put into practice all what you have learned over various sessions so that you practically evaluate a company to find its actual worth and then compare it with the price of the company and understand how undervalued it is and then make a investment. Happy investing.